Luke chapter 1 verses 39 to 45. And Mary arose in those days and went into the hill country with haste into a city of Judah, and entered into the house of Zacharias, and saluted Elizabeth. And it came to pass that, when Elizabeth heard the salutation of Mary, the babe leapt in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Ghost. And she spake out with a loud voice, and said, Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. And whence is this to me, that the mother of my Lord should come to me? For lo, as soon as the voice of thy salutation sounded in my ears, the babe leapt in my womb for joy. And blessed is she that believed, for there shall be a performance of those things which were told her from the Lord. Observe the benefit of fellowship and communion between believers. We read of a visit paid by the Virgin Mary to her cousin Elizabeth. We are told in a striking manner how the hearts of both these holy women were cheered, and their minds lifted up by this interview. We should always regard communion with other believers as an eminent means of grace. It is a refreshing break in our journey along the narrow way to exchange experience with our fellow travelers. There are many who fear the Lord and think upon his name, and yet forget to speak often one to another. Malachi chapter 3 verse 16. First let us seek the face of God, then let us seek the face of God's friends. What a clear spiritual knowledge appears in the language of Elizabeth. She calls Mary, quote, the mother of my Lord, verse 43, end quote. The words, my Lord, at the time they were spoken, implied far more than we are apt to suppose. They were nothing less than a distinct declaration that the child who was to be born was the long-promised Messiah, Psalm chapter 110, verse 1, the Christ of God. Let us beware of using these words lightly. With holy reverence, let them fall from our lips. There are two texts connected with the expression which should often come to our minds. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 3, Philippians chapter 2 verse 11. What high praise Elizabeth bestows upon the grace of faith, verse 45. We need not wonder that this holy woman should thus commend faith. She was well acquainted with the Old Testament. She knew the great things faith had done. What is the whole history of God's saints in every age but a record of men and women who obtained a good report by faith? Do we know anything of this precious faith? Do we know anything of the faith of God's elect? Titus chapter 1 verse 1. Let us never rest till we know it by experience. Better 1,000 times be rich in faith than rich in gold. Gold will be worthless in the unseen world to which we are all traveling. Faith will be owned in that world before God the Father and the holy angels. For meditation, nothing will be able to make up for the lack of faith on the great and terrible day of judgment.